Now, we've heard today that US President Donald Trump is skipping the latest impeachment hearings, called over claims, of course, that he illegally encouraged the Ukrainian president to investigate the son of his political rival, Joe Biden. The Democrats, of course, had been talking impeachment since soon after the inauguration.
Announcing the House of Representatives moving forward with an official impeachment inquiry. The president must be held accountable. No one is above the law.
Donald Trump, constantly under attack, has been typically dismissive.
Pushing that impeachment witch hunt, and a lot of bad things are happening to them. Because you see what's happening in the polls? Everybody said, that's really true.
But watching some media, you'd think the Democrats' prosecution is a lay-down misere.
We're seeing is each of these pieces is confirming a really obvious story. I mean, so far, there is no counter-narrative. I mean, there is no one who has actually testified, oh, don't worry, there was no linkage. Oh, don't worry, this didn't happen.
2 months after the inquiry was announced, what has been revealed? According to Dave Seminara in the Wall Street Journal, very little. Labelling the inquiry a fishing expedition, the journalist and former diplomat wrote, none of the career diplomats who testified last week had any insight into the president's decision-making. That's not uncommon for officers of their rank. The witnesses were brought before the committee because Democrats knew they would rightfully object to how Trump handled Ukraine policy, not because they were in a position to know his motives or goals. Even our ABC is noting that the wind has gone out of the impeachment proceedings. Here's US commentator Daniel McCarthy on Philip Adams' Late Night Live last Thursday.
Well, you know, it's very surprising to look at the polling so far. It seems to say that Donald Trump's support is steady. It's still somewhere between 40 and about 45% of American voters. It seems as if voters there are paying very little attention to the impeachment proceedings, and when they're interviewed by newspapers, they often say that they are simply somewhat tired and fatigued of the whole process. So it's possible that impeachment will not harm Donald Trump, and perhaps it's even the case that it may wind up helping him.
And Beverly Hallberg of Independent Women's Group and District Media last week slammed mainstream media coverage.
Well, are we really surprised that the same media outlets that pushed a Russian collusion narrative for 2 years are now pushing a narrative that this is automatically a slam dunk for Democrats? Look, I think it is accurate to report that you did have witnesses who testified that said there was a quid pro quo. But the reporting is to say that automatically that must mean there was criminal intent. This was for personal gain by Donald Trump, and that was not proven. So I think when it comes to the reporting of this, it has been unfair to the president.
The Hill reported a poll showing 46% of voters believe the media's coverage of impeachment proceedings is biased against Trump, compared to just 12% who think media is giving him a favourable run. Having gotten it so wrong on Russiagate, you'd think the media might have learned from their mistakes, but not if CNN is any guide.
Look, I think on Fox, the president still gets the benefit of the doubt, even though he is lying through his Twitter teeth on a daily basis about the whistleblower and about the basic facts of this scandal.
And I think that really, as political parties have gotten weakened, it has been outsourced to places like Fox News. So you asked earlier in the tease, like, is there a difference? No. Fox News is actually the communications arm of the RNC.
The president doesn't want journalism on Fox. He wants these sycophants on Fox. He wants pro-Trump talking points on Fox. And that is what he's getting. And if he survives this impeachment process, it's going to be because of that.
Yep, if the president survives impeachment, blame Fox News. Still, what do you expect from a media so obsessed with bringing down Trump, it even goes all neo-Puritan over the president's use of the word you saw earlier, bullshit.
Suburban voters, especially women, are going to be put off by that kind of language and that kind of person as president.
Because a lot of them spend 20 to 30 years of their life trying to
tell their kids not
bring
to
up
be
a
like
different
that.
generation than him.
This reminds me of a kind of secular, weird, almost revival meeting. It's not religious, but he's setting up a light and dark, good and evil, devil and savior kind of thing, and that fits into the rhythm of the people that he's going after.
Hang on, who's going after who here? Who, having pursued Trump relentlessly and obsessively and ultimately fruitlessly, is accusing the president of vindictiveness? Irony is dead, and so is introspection at MSNBC.